Welcome to the OK Not OK podcast, and we're going to talk about my favorite topic today, Kevin Owens. But first, I've got to say that WWE trolled me really hard. And how did they do that? Well, for 3 straight shows after Bad Blood, they tiptoed and danced around saying anything about what Kevin Owens may have done to Cody Rhodes at the end of Bad Blood. And then as soon as I and the SportsZu took a week off to go to 2 weddings, the very next episode of SmackDown, of course, they showed not only the Cody Rhodes video, but also a similar video showing Kevin Owens attacking Randy Orton as well. So, okay WWE, you've got my attention, and you got me this time, but look out. So speaking of that Cody Rhodes attack, yes, it was there and they showed it to us, but did we learn anything from it? Well, there was no sound between the 2 men that we could hear, so we really don't know what was said. There was just a brief argument and KO started swinging because he just keeps fighting. That's just what KO does, and we love him for it. So, I don't know. I think it goes to what I said in our previous video on 10/16, which we will link to down below in the description, so go ahead and check that one out if you haven't seen it. It's a pretty good one. I offer a few different theories for why KO may have done what he did, and spoiler alert, I said that what KO did was okay. So of course what KO did was okay to Cody Rhodes, so let's take another look. And was KO okay for what he did to Randy Orton instead? Well, unlike that Cody Rhodes situation, we pretty much know the what in what happened to Randy Orton here, since they showed that attack video on the very next SmackDown. But on that SmackDown that I missed, they went back and showed the footage showing that KO and Orton were arguing, and then Orton decided to start walking away when KO decided to attack him from behind. So I guess that's not a great look for KO. But still, was this deserved for Randy Orton? Because as we know, Orton went out and took Cody Rhodes' side as he came out to the ring to try to stop KO from attacking Rhodes on SmackDown after he interrupted the Women's Tag Team Championship match from ever starting. And then, of course, Orton went to Rhodes' bus and told both him and Aldis that he would try to talk some sense into Owens. Obviously, that did not work out well for anyone, so KO was then suspended and sent home and told not to come in. But on that October 18th episode of SmackDown, here's what Kevin Owens had to say that was important. First, it was both unfair and ridiculous for him to have to stay home due to his attack when he dropped the golden boy, Cody Rhodes. And then he also questioned how appreciated and valued he is in the WWE, but both of those things he can get over. But what he can't get over is what Randy Orton did to him for betraying him and taking Cody Rhodes' side. And Owens said that what they had was different and that he never would have done that to Orton. So how did we even get here? I guess that's the biggest thing to talk about. It's not like there was some long-standing relationship between Orton and Owens, so let's go back to when Randy Orton returned to WWE after 18 long months off. Well, what did he do? He returned at War Games in November, and he was part of the team to defeat the Judgment Day. So then he came back to SmackDown, and there was no real meaningful interaction between Orton and Owens for a few months. In fact, the first real time that those two squared off, it was as opponents inside the Elimination Chamber. And in fact, Randy Orton was able to counter both a pop-up powerbomb and a stunner and turned it into an RKO to eliminate Kevin Owens. But then the stars aligned on the very next SmackDown with Kevin Owens sitting in as a special guest announcer for Randy Orton against Austin Theory. And when Waller attacked Orton from behind after Orton had just defeated Theory, KO came to the rescue and both of them hit their finishers to end the show. So of course, those two had to team up and take down A-Town Down Under the next week, and it continued through WrestleMania where those two were in a triple threat match against each other and principally against Logan Paul. Unfortunately, they battled each other just enough that Paul was able to slip away with the US title. So basically what we have here is a friendship that is centered around fighting and having a mutual hatred of A-Town Down Under and Logan Paul. I mean, that's not a whole lot to stand on, right? Everybody hates A-Town Down Under and Logan Paul. Well, I don't hate Logan Paul, he is my YouTube Lord and Savior, so keep at it, Logan. Anyways, after WrestleMania and the feud was done, we had these two teaming up a few more times and mostly against the Bloodline, but they were not very successful, going 0-3 in all matches involving the Bloodline, and in fact, in their 6 total matches together, they had a not very stellar record of just 2-4, losing to the incredible team of Pretty Deadly and only getting wins against, you guessed it, Waller and Theory. But since, as we chronicled before, Kevin Owens has fought the Bloodline longer and more often than anyone else in the WWE, so it stands to reason that KO's logic is simple. If you team up with him and fight the Bloodline, and even if you lose, you are on his good side. But if you are someone that fights with someone from the Bloodline, well, then you have moved to the bad side. And I guess if we just extend that one step further, if you back someone who has teamed up with someone from the Bloodline, you, by extension, are also bad. So unfortunately, that is now where Randy Orton lies, right in the crosshairs of Kevin Owens. And you know what? I think that's pretty sound logic. It doesn't take a whole lot of steps to get there. It's pretty straightforward. You fight the Bloodline, good. You team up with someone from the Bloodline, bad. And now, by extension, Randy Orton, also bad. So KO, yeah, I get it, man. I get it. Those 30 matches against the Bloodline go a very long way. So you have your priorities in order, and as always, just keep fighting. That's right, folks. What KO did is okay. And you know what else would be okay? If you would go back and check out this week's okay question of the week, where I talk all about the drama that Jey Uso is causing with the aforementioned Bloodline. And if you missed it, that, of course, is not okay.